Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. It's already dark. It's about 5:30 p.m. It gets dark very quickly at this time of year. Kind of caught me off guard today. Had to use the Prius to kind of illuminate me to set the tent up. I've not set this tent up before. This is the KingCamp Tipi tent. This is a 4-season tent. Comes with a stove jack already pre-installed, and it also comes with an inner tent, so you can have a little base layer away from the ground. And it's got 2 different entries. One's just a straight door. The other one is a 2-way awning, so you can get a little bit of rain shelter with the door open. We'll check that out in the morning while we're having coffee. But for now, we're gonna get the inner tent set up, get this wood stove in here. I'm starving, so I'm gonna possibly cook up some steak, I hope, and get comfy in here. It's raining right now. I'm hoping it's gonna turn into snow, but right now it's raining. It's about -3 degrees Celsius. It's right in the snow zone, so hopefully we got some flurries. But let's get this thing set up and get some heat in there. Alright, well, the inner tent doesn't seem to fit in here with the wood stove, and they'll end up being within each other's zone, assuming that the inner tent would get too hot and melt. So I'm gonna just put down a normal tarp anyways and a bed system on top of that. So typically it would be winter camping, there's snow on the ground, a little bit of frost, so I wouldn't use that inner tent anyways. But this tent does come with a bathtub floor that you could then put a silicone fire mat down and the stove. Not sure what that might be. Alright, so you can tell I set up the outside awning a little bit, just to open up the walkway a bit more, and I'm gonna start a little bit of a fire out here and cook some steaks outside, and I'm gonna cook some potatoes on the wood stove. The stove is putting off a lot of heat. I'm pretty surprised. The tent's got a wide open door. It's pretty chilly out right now. You can see my breath. And yeah, I can feel the heat right in here. I can feel the heat outside of it. I can feel the cold. So the tent, being a short tent, I think is gonna hold that heat down a little bit lower. But yeah, the stove is running really good. So I'm gonna start cooking some food. I am starving, and everything's been wet. It stopped raining. That's pretty good. Happy about that. Hopefully this tent will dry up the ground a little bit, and get some food in my belly and get our bedding set, and probably be an early night tonight. I'm already tired. All right. I'm so hungry. I'm so excited for this steak. Oh my God. All right, some potatoes. I'm gonna wait for some of those peppers to come off that grill. I thought they'd go all right in here, but oh man. Just look at that. All right. Oh my God, that is so good. I gotta say, you're never more hungry when setting up camp or camping, and the food, it doesn't matter how you cook it. At home, maybe you think something's bland, but out here, it's cold out. The fire's going, but man, I am starving. You can never go wrong with steak. You know, maybe if you're a vegetarian, I get it, vegan, but I love steak, especially on a grill. That's the Firebox grill. I've had that for 5 years. I use it so often. It's so convenient. Grills up one steak, perfect. Man, that's good. Just look at that steam coming off there. Some potatoes on here. These peppers are really good too, actually. Not much of a veggie guy. I try to be. My wife is, my daughter is. I am not. I struggle. But I was proud of myself today. Threw some peppers in the old dinner menu. Well, I'm gonna finish up dinner. Just take a minute and relax. And pretty soon I'm gonna get my bed ready and get this tent warmed up. Get some wood in here. I don't have to source wood out on this campsite or this outing because I already know there's not much wood in this area, and I don't know how long this stove will really run or keep the tent warm, so I like to bring wood I already process. I already cut it for a certain size for each stove that I have, whether it be 10 inches, 6 inches, 16 inches. So I knew what I had to bring. I have lots of wood for the night. I'm gonna see what this tent can do, and once I got a full belly, I'll be warm. Alright, so I'm in the tent. Shut her all down for the night. Everything's cleaned up, and I got the bed set up. I didn't do a quick video of it. If you've seen previous videos, I've had the same sleep system in here, but the reason why I didn't get to videoing it is because the ground warmed up in here so much that it got pretty mucky. So I started stepping on a few things and getting it muddy. So I just got her done. I've got two sleeping bags. One underneath, I got my insulator sleep pad inside the second sleeping bag. But honestly, it is so warm in here. I can't believe how warm it is. The stove jack, I'll show you in the morning when it's light out. It's a great design, but they made the hole too big. There's a lot of air that can just escape right out of that. They should have made it more reference to, you know, 2 7/8, or, you know, 2 to 3 inch. 3 inch is what they would normally make a stove jack or a do-it-yourself, where you actually cut it and, you know, you cut in your own hole to put your pipe through. The reason being, if it was minus 25 out or minus 30 out, a lot of the heat that I'm trying to generate and keep in the tent would be just going right out that hole. So that's one thing I noticed with this tent. Outside of that, everything else has been great. The quality, the material, the water just beads right off of it. I do like that, and then I can tell a huge difference of heat insulation in this tent. So I'm pretty pumped. It's smaller than my other tent that I have, but I do like it. It's smaller and keeps the heat in, and, you know, a lot of times you end up bringing stuff that you didn't need to begin with. So like firewood, I brought a lot of wood, and it turns out I'm not going to really need it. Yeah, so this is the tent fan that I've been excited to get. I ordered it. It came. It's the first time I'm using it. I don't know if I'm going to need it. It is warm in this tent. The idea is you clip it on the pole. This fan 360. The main goal is to push that air that keeps rising to the top of the tent back down into your comfort zone where your bedding system is, so that you feel the heat instead of ramping up the stove. Or I know a lot of guys just, you know, let the stove die out and they burrow into their sleep system. That's Everyone's got their thing. Sometimes I do that myself, but a lot of times I like to just have that fire going through the night. It's cozy. I'm out here. I want to burn a wood stove. That's why I brought it. So I like to keep her going, and sometimes you can just dial it down, let it burn really slow, and that heat comes right back down. You're not ramping that stove up to keep the heat going in here, but we're going to try this out tonight. We'll see you in the morning, see how everything went, and fire up some coffee. I'm excited for that. It's been a long day. Well, good morning. That was a nice night. Stove worked great. Just I dialed it right down, and it just nice and slow burned through the night. I perked it back up, opened it up a bit, and got some heat going this morning. It was raining pretty hard. I think it's kind of died down now, but it was raining really hard. I could feel the dampness, and the stove just gets rid of that. It's really comfy with a wood stove going. The ceiling fan, I tell you that, what a good move, because I could feel the heat moving in the tent. It's not like it was just, sometimes you would be camping and you lift your head up and it's like an instant feel of heat. It's just sitting at the top of the tent, so that was good. I was happy about that. Well, I think what we're gonna do is boil some water. Got the stove going nice, and have some coffee. I'm ready for some coffee. Not sure if I'm gonna cook any food. I might just pack up the site today, but we'll see. But definitely having coffee. Yeah, well, that's the mud I'm talking about. Pretty close to the water. You'll see in a minute, but yeah, she was pretty muddy one. Tent though, like, water just beaded right off it. All right, well, I got everything packed up. This site turned into a big mudslide, I would say. Everything is pretty covered in mud, which happens. That's what happens sometimes. Change of temperature. It was cold, a little bit of snow, rain, and then a lot of rain last night. So it's now pretty swampy, but I'm gonna get some water boiling for some coffee. I'm ready for that. I thought you could hear something there. Yep, there it is. Some coffee and see if we can't see what that is. All right, let's see how this KingCamp mini tent stove will boil water. The lid for that and see how long that takes. Well, while I'm waiting for the water to boil for coffee, I'll just show you this awning feature I was trying to set up last night in the dark, but I got it up a little bit better today. It comes with 2 poles. The awning has a nice pitch away from this lip, pushing all the water or snow or whatnot down the backside, and same over here, nice little lip. Little area outside of this tent, because there's not a ton of room in the tent to be setting up chairs and sitting in there. But this gives you the ability to open up the tent, set up a chair, table, and have coffee, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So wait for that coffee to be ready. In the meantime, I'm going to show you this stove jack. This is what I was referring to. This hole is way too big. All that rain can get down in there, snow can get down in there, wind, and never mind all the heat that you generated in the tent is just going to come right out that hole. It's about a 5-inch hole. These pipes are 2.5 inches, not even 2.5 inches. So they need to narrow that down. With a do-it-yourself, cut in your hole or make a 3-inch piece. So I'm going to message them that. I think that's about the only thing I found with the tent. Everything else, everything it comes with, excellent quality. I would like to check out that bathtub floor. That would be pretty good. But yeah, we'll see. Pretty ready for some coffee, that's for sure. Pretty beautiful site we're on here. It's all muddy, but it's a beautiful lake behind you. I'm gonna get some coffee and we'll sit. Oh yeah, that's boiling nice. I took the top cooking plate off. It seemed like that was actually stopping it from boiling quicker, so I figured I could leave it on like some other stoves, but I took it off and it boiled very quickly. Nice hot coffee, and then that's the plate removed. See in there? We're going to throw it back on. Let the stove burn out. Dial that up. Alright, coffee time. Oh, coffee. Oh. I feel like it took as long to get this coffee going as it did to get to dinner time last night, but this coffee is so good. Oh. Hot. Alright, well that's a muddy wrap. Definitely picked the wrong spot to set this tent up last night in the dark. It didn't seem muddy at all. It seemed like the best spot, but that happens. That's camping. I want to give a big thanks to KingCamp for sending us out the Tipi tent and the wood stove. There'll be a link in the description box below for both the stove and the tent. You can check those out. Awning, definitely a cool feature. I haven't seen that before. Really like it. Keeps you out of the elements. Looking forward to using that again. So thanks again for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.